Team Jacob, by the way. Love Jacob, I think. I haven't read any of the books, I have to admit, and I've only seen the first 2 films, but yeah, Team Jacob. Love that guy. When books become a huge success, they often go on to be translated into various languages so they can be enjoyed by as many people as possible across the globe. Translation is an incredible art form unto itself. Changing a written piece from one language into another is not as simple as simply changing each word. Certain phrases, concepts and idioms used in the book's initial language might not make all that much sense in another tongue, so it's the translator's job to figure out what to say instead and still get the message and ideas across. Sometimes this requires huge changes in the original book, with character names and place names being changed. In some cases, the name of the book itself gets changed too. There are many super famous books out there that are known by one name in one part of the world that have a completely different name somewhere else. There's 2 main reasons why a book might change its name in translation. The first of those being simply because the title doesn't make all that much sense when translated into another language. So to make it more logical in another language, the name gets changed completely. The more popular reason, however, is to sell more books. While books might often be seen as one of the most prestigious creative art forms, at the end of the day, it is still a business. Publishers want every book they produce to sell as many copies as possible, so if they feel a book's name in its native language won't appeal to an audience they're translating it to, then you can be sure they'll whip up a new name for it. This can be seen with books originally written in English as well as books that have been translated into English. A great example is with the 2005 Swedish novel Man som hatar kvinnor by Stieg Larsson, and apologies about my Swedish pronunciation on that one, but this name translates into meaning men who hate women. This Swedish title relates to the many themes of the book involving murder and the likes, at least I think it does, I haven't read it myself. When it was translated into English a few years later, this name was ditched and instead it was given the title of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and since then it has gone on to be a hugely successful book and even adapted into a film. I guess it has this name as a girl in it has a tattoo of a dragon. Once again, I haven't read it. Though, funnily enough, since the release of this book, there has been an English book release with the name Men Who Hate Women. It's by Laura Bates and I've actually read this one. It's all about the world of misogyny in the manosphere. It's one of the best books I've ever read genuinely, so go read it and check it out for yourself. But speaking of books that were big in the 2000s, we have the 2005 novel of Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. We all know about Twilight, right? Like, is it still popular with young people today, or is it just like a millennial thing? But it was a phenomenon back in the day. And it's about a girl who falls in love with a vampire, and from there things get a little bit silly. There doesn't seem to be a defined answer as to why this book has this name, but people on the Twilight subreddit have mused on it. People believe it relates to Edward and Bella's state of mind when they first meet. Both characters are kind of stuck in life like some sort of eternal twilight, and when they meet they can move on together. Also, like Twilight, nighttime vampires, it kind of just makes sense, right? Whatever the case, this name didn't gel well with French. This might be because the French word for twilight, as in the time of day, is crépuscule, which doesn't sound as pretty or have the same kind of vibe as the word twilight does in English. So in French, the book's title was changed to Fascination. I honestly actually prefer this title. It obviously translates to mean fascination in English, and it really captures the mood of the book. Say what you want about it, but Edward and Bella are definitely fascinated by one another, that's for sure. Team Jacob, by the way. Love Jacob, I think. I haven't read any of the books, I have to admit, and I've only seen the first 2 films, but yeah, Team Jacob. Love that guy. But before we continue, I want to say a huge thank to my most recent patrons and Super Thanks leavers. So a huge thank to new patrons Bianca Jadresco and Brian Walland, and the Super Thanks leaver Listia. Patreon is the best way to financially support Name Explained, and donating just $1 a month gets you ad-free videos, a chance to say what names get explained, an exclusive monthly newsletter, and your name at the end of these videos. All of that can be found at patreon.com/nameexplained, which will be linked down below. Conversely, if you want to just make a one-time donation, you can leave a super thanks directly in the comments section of any of my videos here on YouTube. That helps out tremendously too. Thank you. And while I'm plugging stuff and talking about books, I really ought to plug my own books. The Origins of Names was and everything between volumes 1 and 2 a fun little romps in the world of etymology. Each book covers a huge array of topics ranging from countries to people to animals to toys and games. There were like well over 200 names explained across these books, and if you love Name Explain, then you'd probably really enjoy these books. And if you've already read my books and want to read more from me, then just, stay tuned, there's news coming up on that. But I also forgot to mention, if you want to buy these books, they are available in all major formats and you can buy them wherever you buy books from. I'm sure you know the places. Websites, shops, just places. I won't name any in particular because there's too many, but you're smart people, you'll know where to buy books from. Cool, thank you. But back to books with different names in other languages, and carrying on with French translations, we have the 1974 novel of Jaws, written by Peter Benchley. The book is all about 3 men who attempt to kill a great white shark, which is causing havoc in New England. Just a year after its publication, it was adapted into a movie, which I'm sure you've heard of. Benchley really struggled with choosing a name for this book. Initial ideas for names he had included Leviathan Rising and The Summer of the Shark. Jaws was decided on at the last moment and primarily chosen because it fit neatly on the cover. Since then, this name has become iconic. But this name didn't become iconic in French, however. The book and subsequent movie were renamed Les Dents de la Mer, and apologies about my French pronunciation there, but this means the teeth of the sea, and oh man, that's such a cool title. I don't actually know which one I prefer. Jaws is this pretty blunt to the point name, but it really captures the threat of the shark, its massive jaws. But the teeth of the sea is a really poignant, kind of poetic title. Honestly, I'm happy with either of them. And for those wondering, no, the shark in Jaws is not called Jaws. I don't think it gets a name in the book, but the animatronic used in the film was named Bruce after Spielberg's lawyer Bruce Raymer, and it also became known as the Great White Turd as it kept on malfunctioning. And yes, that's also why the shark in Finding Nemo is called Bruce too. I've always been really tempted to do a video about what the shark in Jaws is called. That's it basically, there's not enough for an actual video, so that chunk of this video is that video, enjoy. But carrying on, we have the 2012 book of The Fault in Our Stars by educational YouTuber and author John Green. Man, could you imagine being an educational YouTuber and an author? That would be so cool. I mean, being a successful one. I'm quite used to being a vaguely sort of successful one, but being one that's actually known of, man, that'd be amazing. What a role. John Green is is what I would be if I was better at this, I suppose. But anyway, this book deals with 2 young people who fall in love and deal with their various illnesses. If you're around the same age as me, I'm sure you've read it, because this book was hot in the early 2010s. The English name comes from a Shakespeare line, but relates to the unexpected events that get in the way of their destinies, stars being linked with destinies and all that. Yet, when this book got translated into Macedonian, that name didn't make the cut. They instead went with this title, which I have no clue how to pronounce, but it translates into meaning, the world is not a factory for fulfilling wishes, which really cuts to the point, I guess. It's nowhere near as evocative as a name as The Fault in Our Stars, but maybe it sounds nicer in its native tongue. I don't know, that's just a great name. What a to the point, yeah, the world isn't going to sort your wishes out, kid. This whole beautiful book of The Fault in Our Stars is no, just stop dreaming, stop having hope, because the world isn't going to sort that. It just makes me laugh. Forward on Macedonia. Love that for you guys. And finally, we need to address the fact that sometimes a book's title can even change in the same language. This is seen perfectly in the Where's Wally book series, first published in 1987, written and illustrated by Martin Hanford. These picture books are of British origins, and here in the UK, this guy is called Wally. In other parts of the world, though, he has different names. Famously, in the USA, he is instead called Waldo, and the books are dubbed Where's Waldo too. This change was made because while Wally is a known-of name in the UK, it's not as popular in the USA, and the publishers wanted a character to have a name people would be more familiar with in the States, and apparently Waldo is a common name in the USA. I don't know, if you're called Waldo watching this video and you're like, how dare you make fun of my name, then I'm sorry, but maybe I won't be able to find you anyway, I guess. It's also worth mentioning he has other names around the world too, being called Charlie in French, Walter in Germany, and Holger in Danish. Man, if he wasn't hard enough to find in the first place, it makes it even harder. He keeps on changing his name. You can't even shout for him or ask if you've seen this person, because no matter where you are in the world, he has a different name. Man, Wally does not want to be found. Maybe he's got problems. Maybe we should leave him alone. If I didn't want to be found and people kept on looking for me, I'd be annoyed. Hashtag leave Wally alone, I guess. But that's just 5 books with different names across the globe. If there's any I didn't mention you think are worth sharing, then please let me know down in the comments below. Also, please share the topic down below we could cover in next Monday's Name Explain video. It could be about literally anything, and the topic can be as niche or broad as you like. I will then choose 3 of those topics and place them in a poll for my patrons to vote on. Then the winner from the poll will be the topic covered in next Monday's Name Explain video. You can vote in that poll, as well as enjoy many other great benefits by visiting patreon.com/nameexplain, which will be linked down below, and by donating just $1 a month. Thank you. Anyway, that's more than enough of myself, but don't forget to go follow me on Instagram where I'm NameExplainYT, and don't forget to join the Facebook page Friends of Name Explain, where you can chat with myself and many other name nerds. Okay all, take care. I think I'm in line. I noticed in the last few videos I'm like a bit not directly in the centre, so I've got to shuffle my bum along a little bit, see how this goes. Let's begin, shall we? Man son hata kuvinor. I think that's how it says. I did check. And apologies, I put my. I have to again, aren't I? I got the word right, but I messed up on saying sorry for the pronunciation. Damn. I have things. Can I clap with these in my hands? I'm going to smack the books together. Right, I'm just going to shove these back here so they look nice and good on the set. There we go. Oh, move that one. Oh, that's ruined my set there. Cool. Le Don de la Mer, I think. But the animatronic used in the filming of the film wasn't the filming of the film. The world is not a factory for fulfilling. The world is not a factory for fulfilling wishes. It's first published in 1987. Written 1987. Yeah, so it is 1987. I've written 1879. Can you imagine the first Where's Wally came in 1879? Like Victorian Wally just going around Victorian London, like just. Someone do that. But that's just... Oh, my sleeve keeps falling up. Thank you. I've got to film one more bit. I thought I was done then. Cha, cheers, and tar that came. Cha. Thank you. Bye. Tar. Cheers. Just say it all.